As we are fast approaching the end of 2023, there aren't going to be any more big releases for a good couple of weeks at the very least. What a better time to reflect on some of the best old games of years gone by. Old, I know, is a relative term, so I'll define it as 2018 and older. Crazy to think that in 13 days, 2018 would have been 6 years ago already. That being said, I have my own biases, and crazy enough, I haven't played every game under the sun. So if you disagree or think my picks are asinine, let me know in the comments. And please don't hold back, have at me. That being said, let's get into it. The Witcher 3 from 2015. This game is arguably one of the best games ever made. Having been initially released way back in 2015, the graphics still hold up beautifully, even before the next gen update gave it a major visual overhaul. The Witcher 3 looks incredible, has incredible characters, has multiple fantastic side quests, better than most other games' main campaigns in fact, has incredibly deep crafting and potion system, and fun, if not the best combat system. I like it though. Yet it truly is better than the sum of its parts, and that's saying quite a lot because its parts are already next level. Batman Arkham City from 2011. Arkham Asylum was the genre-defining superhero game prior to Arkham City, yet Arkham City manages to do so much better in every regard. The character models are vastly improved, the combat system is less rudimentary, as well as finally allowing you to explore a large portion of Gotham City. As a massive fan of Batman and Detective Comics as a child, this game felt like an absolute dream come true. Whereas Arkham Knight has much improved graphics and combat, the overemphasis of the Batmobile has me going back to Arkham City as my go-to in the Arkham series. I played it about 2 months ago, and honestly, it's every bit as enjoyable as it was way back when it was released almost 13 years ago. Mass Effect 2 from 2010. It's crazy to think that this game came out all the way back in 2010. Back then, a much younger me thought it was the most beautiful game ever made. Remastered in 2021, yet admittedly, it still has some dated mechanics. It is, however, a game I always go back to at least once a year, as the story is just so good. You play as Commander Shepard, who is building a ragtag crew to save the galaxy. Each and every member is compelling and will pull at your heartstrings at least once or twice throughout the campaign. Will they all make it in the end, or will your choices kill your entire crew and doom the galaxy? What a game. Shadow of the Tomb Raider from 2018. Now, I just finished replaying this gem of a game a couple of weeks ago, and honestly, it's so much better than I remembered. The reboot series often gets a hard rap from some, but I regard them to be some of my favorite gaming experiences. Now, the Tomb Raider reboot series have always pushed the graphics for its time, but Shadow of the Tomb Raider is undoubtedly the best of the trio. The dense greens of the South American forest handily beats anything that the other games did before. With various tombs to discover and explore, this game really scratched an historical itch for me, being that my interest in Incan and Mayan history is rivaled only by that of ancient Greek history. Assassin's Creed Odyssey from 2018. This game has to be the most contentious in the series of Assassin's Creed games. Loved by many, but hated by possibly even more. I, however, regard Assassin's Creed Odyssey as my favorite in the series. Cassandra is such an awesome protagonist, and this game just oozes so much Greek charm. Malaka, a word I'm sure you get familiar with sooner than later. Now, I am a little bit biased, I'll be the first to admit this, but ancient Greek was one of my favorite subjects back in my school days. The massive open world map set in ancient Greece has me going back to this game more than I'll care to admit. Dead Space 2 from 2011. The original Dead Space from 2008 was a groundbreaking survival horror back in its day, but Dead Space 2 is truly where the series peaked. Improved graphics and character movement has this game still being very playable at the end of 2023. Dead Space Remake from earlier this year was pretty faithful to the original story and horror elements, but it lends and improves on the original by borrowing the improved character movement and handling of Dead Space 2. I cannot wait for the remake of Dead Space 2, as it is by far, in my opinion, the best in the series. But for the time being, Dead Space 2 from way back in 2011 is still very enjoyable to play to this very day. Far Cry 3 from 2012. From the very first time I saw the Far Cry 3 trailer with the MIA Paper Planes as the soundtrack, I knew this would be a special game. 11 years later, it is still one of my favorite games ever, and that's saying quite something, as I don't particularly like first-person shooters. Yet this game is hands down one of the most replayable games, being the best in the Far Cry series and arguably the best of the Ubisoft catalogue. The beautiful setting in the Rook Islands with its bright tropical colors offset quite a dark theme of human trafficking and drugs. But damn, this game is too much fun. Voss is the best villain in gaming in my opinion, and Sintra is, well, Sintra. Enough said. Red Dead Redemption 2 from 2018. I only finally got around to playing Red Dead Redemption 2 in January of 2023. The first snowy mountain setting was my undoing for many years, as I would always quit the game before making it any further. What an idiot I was. As soon as Arthur reaches Valentine, this game becomes truly epic. Gun battles, stagecoach robberies, gorgeous visuals, saloon antics, and much more. With the exception of Guarma, I loved every minute of my time with Red Dead Redemption 2. Crazy to think that this game is technically considered old now. It still looks so incredible. Prototype 2 from 2012. When doing a list of great old games, the original Prototype and its sequel Prototype 2 is bound to be in the frame. The original Prototype had much quicker and better flowing character movement, whereas in Prototype 2, James Heller is heavier and slower. But I'm gonna go with Prototype 2, as back in the day, it was hands down my favorite game. James has some of the best one-liners ever, and I just enjoyed playing as him more, to be honest. But they are both great games, and both worth a revisit. GTA 5 from 2015. I purposely left GTA 5 to be last on this list for two reasons. A, people would think I'm mad if it weren't here on this list in the first place, and B, I actually never finished it. If you guys have watched my Cyberpunk gameplay, you know I suck at driving with the mouse. GTA 5 has the exact same car controls, so it prevented me from playing it more than an hour. But I'm going to replay it within a day or two. It must be one of the most successful games ever for a reason. So I'm cheating a little in this entry, as I've never really played it, but to leave it off the best old games list would be insane. Also, I need to know what all the fuss is about before GTA 6 rolls around.